For decades, activists in East Boston have clashed with the Massachusetts Port Authority, at one point successfully blocking a plan to expand Logan Airport further into the neighborhood. Now, as Massport looks for its new CEO, the East Boston community is seizing the opportunity to try to make their voices heard once again, posting their own version of a job description with the qualifications they would like to see in a new agency leader. Joining me now are two of those East Boston residents and activists. Sandra Niger is a member of Mothers Out Front, as well as part of the Logan Community Clean Air Coalition and founder of the East Boston Community Soup Kitchen. And John Walke is Director of Climate Justice at Green Roots and a board member of Airport Impact Relief Incorporated. Thank you both for being here. So Sandra Niger, why did you deliver a job description to Massport, which I don't believe they asked you to create for them?
Yes, they did not. It would be really wishful thinking if they did it on their own. We did that because it is our responsibility to, but it's mainly, we have to advocate for our community. We know how much we have to put up with, how much suffering we go through in dealing with the pollution, all the stresses that come from the Massport, and all the experiences that we've had in the past with Massport, that they just do not pay attention to all the impacts that they are causing to our health and our lifespan, and all the stress that they bring to us. They have really created so much injustice towards our well-being and quality of life that we have in our community. We're constantly being, pushed around. So it is our, I feel that it is our duty, our responsibility to advocate for us.
A way to push back, it sounds like you're saying. Okay, John Walke, can you describe in somewhat greater detail the impacts that Sandra alluded to? What are the impacts? If you live in East Boston, how does the airport affect your life detrimentally?
Sure. I mean, it's nice to be able to roll out of bed a short time before your flight goes out because you live so close to the airport, so there's a positive. But in large part, I'm not flying every day. I am having to get around the neighborhood, and there's 143,000 car trips going out, out through the airport at peak periods. On a peak day, there's 35,000 pounds of air contaminants that are pollution that's being dumped over us. For every propeller plane you see leaving from there, not a jet, there's leaded gas that it's burning over. Like, we stopped using lead in regular cars, but the flights to the Cape or whatnot are dumping leaded gas fumes over us. So there's air pollutions, there's noise, obviously, is a huge one, the traffic, and then just the footprint that it takes up. And there's a long history of fighting back against airport expansion, and it still continues today.
Sandra, the job description that you came up with is pretty hefty, as job descriptions tend to be. If you could point to one or two aspects of that job description that you would really like to see in whoever's picked to run Massport permanently next, what would they be?
I would want someone who is sensitive, someone who is fair, someone who has, who is culturally educated, someone who understands the diversity that exists here in this neighborhood, and diversity meaning, people of all walks of life. We have, socioeconomic differences and the different cultures that we have, the different languages that we speak, and respecting, that we are neighbors and we want to work with Massport, but there's just so much resistance on their side. Look at this. We sent them this letter, like a month ago, and we have not yet received any response back from them. That's to show you how much they care.
We actually have a statement from Massport that we got for this segment, and I'd like to roll it. This will give you a sense of how they're responding. Massport said to us, Massport has worked hard to demonstrate its commitment to neighboring communities. The board's mindful that this important commitment must be maintained in the future. The official Massport CEO candidate profile reflects this goal in the balance of the unique qualities we are seeking in an ideal candidate. We appreciate the community's perspective as the process of hiring the next CEO continues. John Waukee, I want to ask you, you and Sandra and your compatriots decided to put this job description out there as I think it's fair to say, a political act, attempting to exercise your influence. Is there any mechanism in place to guarantee that members of the community have a say as Massport engages in their selection process for the next CEO?
Given the track record of how the hiring process usually goes, I'd say not really. Massport, as you know, is one of those strange beasts in Massachusetts government where it's a quasi-public agency. It's not exactly like Mass DOT or something. It's not totally beholden to the governor. It's beholden to a board. It's beholden to the FAA. So they answered to those. And I think that the real important thing in the quality of the person that we hope they hire is that really the priorities that guide their work have always been the priorities of getting the planes in and out, being efficient, and growth. They run like a business. They generate revenue that they live off of. So they want to grow. And our question is, like, is that for the best for common good? Is this the best for the community? We would like someone who comes in with the perspective not just of the business side of it, but of the community and the sustainability of things.
Sandra, I want to ask you a little bit more about the political landscape around this. But first, I think, John, you mentioned earlier that there's a history here. I want to just roll to give people a sense of that history, some of which they saw at the outset. I want to roll a little video of anti-airport protesters singing a song to Fred Salvucci when he was Mass Transportation Secretary back in 1977. Let's take a look.
Tow, tow, tow the planes away from our neighborhoods. Merrily, 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 life will be a dream.
All right, so there it is, pointing up the fact that this is not, in fact, a new dynamic that we're talking about here. Sandra, can you tell me if, politically speaking, you feel like you and John and the people who want the things that you want, are you getting support from your Boston City councilors, from your representatives at the State House, all the way up to Governor Healy? Are they allies as you see them?
Yes and no. It's a very complicated type of situation, because they say that they are helping us, and we expect to see more, and we get disappointed often because some of the things that we know they could do more, they don't, and yet they tell us that they are. So it's a complicated thing. They say it's not under my hands, it's out of my hands. I'm doing my best, I'm having conversations and this and that. And we wonder, how much are they really doing? Because we do rely on them. We do have, confidence that they can do more.
When you say that, I'm reminded of the pushback against that new electrical substation in East Boston, which, Sandra, if I remember right, I believe you were arrested at one point at a protest, right? I think we have some video of
both of us.
Forgive me, I didn't mean to.
I got another. That was a separate occasion.
Okay, I should give you both your due for
Yes.
sticking your necks out to the extent that you were in fact arrested. John Waukee, does that represent the dynamic that Sandra is talking about, with politicians saying, we're concerned about this issue, we're having conversations about it, but you all not quite getting what you hope you're going to get?
Yeah, I think it's in fairness to the politicians, they are not elected just to represent, like me. They're elected to represent a lot of other interests that are there. The challenge is that a lot of those other interests have a whole lot of money and wherewithal and attorneys and sway on the process. And we have those moments when they're out looking for votes to try to affect it. And and that has been the experience, is that we get promises along the campaign trail, and then when it comes time to implement it, the reality is it's very complicated. And the complicated part is we're talking about changing systems and changing things that are very big and expensive, but it's a matter of where your priorities are. Are your priorities just to keep things the status quo, or are your priorities actually to be proactive and adapt to a new environment?
There's one other fight that's going on right now, and Sandra, I want to give you a chance to just talk briefly, maybe 30 seconds, 45 seconds about it. What is the fight over this proposed new Hall Road in East Boston about?
We do not want it. That is just going to open doors to bring massive trucks, to contribute to the pollution to the air, to contribute to the massive traffic that we already deal with. So it's more impacts to our health overall. More stress, and no, we do not want that. And I wanted to also say that when it's time for their side to protect themselves, they go overboard. For us, when we got arrested, we didn't even do anything. You know, we were just there with signs. We were not even saying anything. And they activated the anti-terrorist squad coming after 12 of us neighbors. So it's like, it's so unfair the way they treat us.
We have to leave it there. Sandra Kneedger and John Waukee, thank you both for talking this through. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having us on.
Thank you.